Wow.
Does Magic deserve any credit for the Lakers' success?
Yes, he does. He deserves a ton of credit for this. And I want you guys to go back to how this all started, because I think what we are doing is putting a high emphasis on how it ended. And the way it ended wasn't admirable, wasn't optimal by Magic Johnson, obviously. But don't let the way he went out distract you and detour you from reality because of the work he did before that moment. Magic Johnson was more than Santa Claus. He was the parachute that saved this franchise as it was going out of control, spiraling downward at a rapid rate ever since Jeannie Buss took over. No playoff appearances still to this date since Jeannie Buss has been the owner of this team, who I love a lot. 27 wins, 21 wins, 17 wins, 26 wins. And here comes Magic the parachute in February 2017. Let's stop this. Come on now. Then all of a sudden, 35 wins. Oh, that doesn't seem like a lot for the Lakers of old and Showtime Lakers. But for these Lakers, Jeannie Buss-led Lakers, oh, that's a lot. 37 wins. And then Magic taps out. But those seeds were planted. Those moves were made. Talking about the cap space. You talk about one, Magic Johnson is the reason LeBron James is here in terms of what executive was able to make that deal. He didn't even talk to Luke Walton for, what, 6 weeks? Like, LeBron's in town at Bev, Piece of Rev, and all these places, and not even talking to his coach. It was Magic Johnson that made that happen, which also is a part of what made Anthony Davis a Los Angeles Laker. So I just want to respect the continuum, which is Magic helped save this franchise and, more importantly, redirected it to where it is right now.
First thing, when I talk to my kids or I do any sort of media training with people, one of the things that I tell them is let somebody else sing your praises. Oh. The idea that he's asking for credit, I will give it to him, but it's a bad look that he wants to come out after the way things ended and say, I deserve credit for where we are. And here's the most important thing. Okay, I will give you some credit for where they are. Where are they? This is like me going into one of Magic's Starbucks, and I order my Americano, and the barista is going to work, and the cashier goes, oh, by the way, you know what? You wouldn't be getting that without me. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't even know how good the cup of coffee is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Lakers are just yet. And second of all, it's a bad look that you want to jump in and say that I owe you something for what I've paid for. The reality is, do you know who was on December 19th, 2018, last year? Who was in first place in the Western Conference? That would be the Denver Nuggets. Yeah. December 19th, 2017, who was in first place? That would be the Houston Rockets. So, yes, you are 24-4. You are in first place in the Western Conference. You get credit for that. You also get credit for the fact that you don't have a first-round pick in 2021. If we're going to go all the way down the line, you don't have a second-round pick in 2022. New Orleans controls your pick in 2023, and you don't have a pick in 2024. So let me see where this team goes and what it does. This, to me, this quote has the potential. This team would not be in the position it's in without me. Has the potential of coming back and biting him the same way Joe Lacob once upon a time said, we are light years ahead of everybody else. And now everybody is throwing it back at him. If the Lakers don't complete this, if they don't keep Anthony Davis, which they still have to do, then there's going to be people who are going to say, yeah, Magic, you're right. We would not be in this position without you, but it's not going to play quite the way it does right now.
I don't like it because they're 24-4. If they were 18-10, this interview never happens. Never.
Christmas happens.
Again, Christmas.
Bikes are given.
He never has this interview. He's not, again, he can interview Plaschke at his home, at Mickey D's, at Ruth Chris. There's a bunch of places. That's a couch. Hey, come interview me while I'm being Santa Claus and make that part of your story. Listen, this man trying to jump in here and steal some shine from Jeannie Buss, who he just said we haven't even talked this season. We really haven't even made things right. It's a bad look. It's what I love Magic the athlete. I hate that everything about athletes has been perverted by brand building. This is just brand building. It's a bad look for Magic Johnson on a bunch of different levels. And Ric's point of taking credit for 24-4, come take credit after they hang a championship, then say, hey, they should give me credit. This is premature, and it just screams to me jealousy, envy, regret. He wishes he was there so he could beat his chest and say, I did this, and he can't. You start with Jeannie Buss, then you go to Pelinka, and then you go to LeBron James. That's who deserves credit, and this dude should have been quoted in the paper singing those three people's praises.
Okay. I have a lot to unpack right here. First of all, I'm feeling the double team, coach. I got to turn, twist my hips, get skinny in the hole.
I got an next one.
I know how to get out of double teams. Okay. One, Magic Johnson in this interview, you have to go 40%, maybe halfway through before you even get to Lakers conversation, because this interview at its core was really about his getting back to who Magic Johnson is in essence.
I'm pumped the brakes.
Oh, here comes the journalist. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
I knew
I craft these stories for a living, and so does Ric.
Right.
The heart of that story is about the Lakers. Everything else is just an excuse.
I can respect that. I can respect that, but he still did the work in the moment for you to have the excuse to build and craft your argument. Here's the thing. I have a real issue with people who are taking exception with Magic in this moment, because it's really only a personality quirk that you really have an issue with. And I'm talking to you, Ric Bucher. I've always had this issue since I was in grade school, and it's like compliments versus credit. And I'll give you an example. People want to give compliments because they really want the power to say what you are and how you're being perceived. So there's really a selfish play in me giving you compliments. And here's the example. If Tony Dungy were ever to let it leave his mouth that I did most of the construction of that Tampa Bay team that John Gruden actually won with, people will lose their minds. But those same people are the people who go around right now every time John Gruden says, yeah, I won the Super Bowl. Oh, you won it with Tony Dungy's people. They will be hypocritical. They flip. The same thing happens in Golden State. When Steve Kerr obviously played himself into a position where he's not just benefiting from Mark Jackson's players. But if Mark Jackson ever wanted to actually say, why do I have to wait for you to give me credit and give you the power when I actually already know what it is? I've seen this play so many different ways in sports and in real life. Beautiful girl shows up at school. This used to happen, Tiffany Cambridge. Everyone would say, you look amazing, you look amazing. Then one day, Tiffany finally came to school and said, how you like how I look? Yeah. You know what I mean? Wait a minute. You know why? Because the person giving the compliment wants so much credit. Magic Johnson is saying literally the reality and the facts. This franchise was going this way. And all I'm saying is they wouldn't be in this position if it weren't for me. But we have to wait for Ric Bucher and Jason Whitlock and everyone else to say it before Magic can say it.
No, there's two things here, and I don't want to steal your thunder because I can see what you have over there.
Yeah.
That's the key word, dismissal.
But the reality is, in a general context, I can agree with some of what you said.
Yeah.
But it's circumstance. And the circumstance is that Magic bailed on this situation.
Go ahead, use my word.
He quit. He left. And not only did he quit
Mark Jackson
and
got
leave,
fired. Tony Dungy got fired. They didn't quit. In sports, you don't quit. And trust me, I tried it when I was a kid, and my father went off.
Yeah, I tried to quit too.
And didn't play my 5th year of college, and they won a championship without me.
That's to my point with why I don't think this story is as ingenuous as you think it is. You know why? Because he even admits that I still haven't talked to Jeannie. He even admits that was the weak way out. So why would you craft a story where you're going to take shots at yourself and take shots that are not going to put you in the best light? I think Magic Johnson is just being transparent. There's some good, there's some bad. I deserve some credit, but not all the credit. And you just got to read that story and have that balance.
But where was it in this piece where he said, you know what, Rob's done a hell of a job. Jeannie held the ship together even though I stepped off and I did it in such an abrupt way. There wasn't enough acknowledgement of what has been done without him. And if he had done that and said, you know, hey, I think I had a part in this, it would have played different. And this is the other part when it comes back to the situation, which is there are plenty of players and athletes, you know this, that do a tremendous amount in the community. And the cameras aren't there, and they don't alert the cameras, and they don't let people know, and they don't get nearly the credit that they deserve for all that they do. But I do have trouble with the guys who show up and then make sure that the cameras are there, taking care of that. Everybody knows that they are doing what they're doing, because then it makes me question what your motive is.
Well,
and that's where
for me, Marcellus, I'm just telling you, Magic Johnson's my favorite athlete. His pictures, and it was because he elevated everybody else as an athlete. That's what attracted me to Magic, and that's what made us sing Magic's praises. Magic, the brand, elevates Magic, and it's inconsistent with what I fell in love with. It's the wrong play here. Sing Jeannie Buss's praises in this column, and then hey, Magic said some great things about Jeannie, and you know what? He deserves a little credit, too,
so we can get the power once again. We're mad that Magic got the power once again, proving my point. You want to know where the Rob Pelinka compliments are? Go to Bill Plaschke's house or office. They're probably on the cutting room floor. They didn't make this article. I don't know where they are.
That's a possibility.
But here's the thing. I'm tired of people wanting this false humility out of our celebrities, athletes, whoever it is. It's false. Like, I'm not going to give myself the love. But I know that you are. And if you don't and I do, then all of a sudden I'm the demon. That's not fair.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.